Hi, hello, and welcome to the video. Whether you're someone who loves horror, loves gaming, loves overthinking, or just a game dev looking for some tips, this is the video for you. My name's Dan Han, and this is Overthinking Media, where we overthink all things anime, gaming, cinematic, and entertaining with the intent to start a discussion on subjects that may not change the world, but are fun to overthink. Well, today, we're talking about formulaic scares and jump scares. What they are, when to use them, why they're important, why they matter, and what to avoid. Let me ask you a question. Are scares still scary once you figure out the formula to when they'll happen? In all my videos and jump scares, I want to mention that though I kind of interchange jump scares and scares throughout the video. This is because a lot of them are jump scares, but they're also scares. It's kind of like how all fish are aquatic life form, but not all aquatic life form are fish. You with me? Let's jump in. So, what are formulaic scares? These are the scares that will happen whenever a certain event happens. If X, then Y. These can be scary the first few handful of times they happen, but sooner or later you you figure how they work. They're formulaic, and they kind of stop being as effective because you understand why they happen, or how they happen, or when they're going to happen. You know what triggers them, and you know before they even happen that you can prepare yourself for them. Five Nights at Freddy's 2 and the puppet is a good example of a formulaic jump scare. You know, once the music box stops, the puppet will jump out and scare you, and you lose. Whether or not this remains scary in the long run depends on each individual, but overall, eventually, the vast majority of people will stop finding this particularly scary, as you know what will happen once the trigger activates. The music box stops. Okay. There it is. Okay, cool. And we start the level. If X, then Y. If the music box stops, the puppet will jump out at you. As I just said, the main problem with formulaic jump scares is once you know what happens and how they happen, you can predict them. You know when they're going to happen. You know once the music box does stop, the puppet will jump out at you. All you have is 5 or 10 seconds to prepare for that. You're like, okay, cool, music box stops. And then once again, you turn around and... that was scary. Of course, the first time this happens, you're like, okay, music box stop. What does that mean? What does that mean? Jesus! Okay, cool, right. That was good. And then the second time the music box stops, you're like, okay, cool, what does that mean? What does it actually mean? What's gonna happen? Puppet! Puppet jumps out! When the music box stops, puppet jumps out and kills me. Right, okay. Music box stops, puppet jumps out. I need to keep the music box wind, otherwise I lose. And then the third time it happens, music box! Music box. Music box. Okay, cool, yeah. Music box. But of course, the 10th or however many times you mess up in the game, music box! I forgot the music box. Okay, cool, let's restart. Other examples of formulaic jump scares include, if my oxygen suit reaches critical low oxygen, I will start hallucinating monsters and threats. If I don't sneak past this enemy, it will jump out and attack me. If I pick up that item, this monster will chase me. There's nothing inherently wrong with formulaic scares and jump scares. They just become a bit ineffective the more they use. The fault with Five Nights at Freddy's is you are essentially playing the exact same level 5 times over, just on slightly harder difficulty. And with each death you take, you are legitimately replaying the exact same level. Therefore, Scott can't change anything about the levels because you are literally replaying the level you just played. You're not actually playing a new level, you're just replaying the one you just died on. If Scott suddenly changed the formula after 3 deaths, well, actually that would kind of be cool. Like, kind of work. I was gonna have this whole point like, oh, that won't work. But actually that'd be kind of cool. Like, with each death, maybe the puppets change. But once again, that becomes formulaic once you know how it works. Like, okay, first time you die, she's gonna come from the left. Second time you die, she comes from the right. Third time you die, she comes straight down the center, and Frenzy comes through the vent. Fourth time you die, Mangle will start coming from the vent. And 6th time you die, Bonnie starts coming from the left side instead of the right. Like, yeah, that's cool. Once again, that becomes formulaic. The more you die, the more you figure out, and like, okay, right, I died 3 times, so this is the run where Freddy's gonna come from the vent, Bonnie's gonna come from the center, and Chica's gonna come from the left. And Mangle's gonna appear from the left, no, wait, no, the right side. 4th time I die, right side. Okay, cool. I speak about this more in my video actually on Five Nights at Freddy's, but personally, the more I play the game and the more I died, the scares kind of went from scary to just inconvenient. And this is because the scares meant death, which is sometimes where so many jump scares fall, when they mean game over, where the scare is a punishment as opposed to an actual scare. While playing FNAF, you're not thinking, oh god, don't be behind the camera because that's gonna be scary. Okay. Oh, nothing. Okay. Whew. You're thinking, oh god, don't be behind the camera because it's 5 AM and I've done this level 4 times. You put it on the camera. Partway through The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess, you enter the Twilight Realm, where there's this mission to grab these 2 glowing orbs. I almost said balls, that would have been wrong. You have this mission to grab these 2 glowing orbs and carry them back to a podium. The only problem is, as soon as you grab the first one, this giant wall master-like entity starts chasing you that is trying to grab its orb back. And quite honestly, when it first happens, it's freaky. It's this giant hand chasing you. You can't run because you're carrying this orb and it's a bit slow. You gotta like throw it and then clear the dust, and you gotta watch out for the wall master while also fighting the enemies and figure out the puzzle and However, the second time you go to grab the orb, you know what's gonna happen. You know the hand is going to chase you. But it doesn't make it any less freaky. It's an effective formulaic scare. There's no specific time where formulaic scares need to be used, but there are times when it is beneficial to use them. Sort of like in Minecraft. You don't need to use a shovel to dig dirt. You can use a pickaxe, but it's beneficial to use the shovel. That was a weird analogy. Using our example from earlier, when your spacesuit reaches critical low oxygen, you start hallucinating. That is the formula we're going with. When you reach low oxygen, you will start hallucinating. If X, then Y. If low suit, hallucination. In this game, there's a shortcut that takes you from one side of the space station to the other. However, the only problem is, it's across a long pathway outside the space station, where you've only got about a minute worth of oxygen in your suit. I mean, provided the pathway is clear, you can get through it in about 30 seconds, so a minute is great. It's going to be twice as much time as possible. What's the problem? Well, this pathway between point A and point B is often littered with hostile monsters, where if you have to fight them, it'll take up more time. You've only got 60 seconds, and if you have to fight a monster and it takes 10 seconds, and you run into 3 of those, that's 60 seconds used up. That's 30 seconds actually, but the 30 seconds takes to cross, plus the 10, 10, and 10, 60 seconds. You know what I meant, right? Basically, if you can clear in 30 seconds, but you run into 3 enemies, that uses another 30 seconds, that's your whole time, and after 6 seconds, your oxygen is low, so you start hallucinating. In this game, there's a shortcut from one half of the space station to the other, and it takes you about 30 seconds to go there, and it saves you a ton of time. Hooray! The problem, though, is this shortcut is on the outside of the station, and because of that, your spacesuit only has about 60 seconds of oxygen to get across the pathway. But hey, it only takes 30 seconds, so what's the problem? Well, this shortcut is often littered with hostiles and monsters, and if they hit you and damage you, your oxygen tank punctures, meaning that 30 seconds becomes no time. If they hit you, you will start hallucinating. However, in order to avoid getting hit, you need to attack them. So in order to get through the pathway, provided it is littered with monsters, you need to fight the monsters without getting hit. However, the more time you take fighting them, the less time you have to pass. So if each enemy takes 10 seconds to fight, and you know you need at least 30 seconds to pass, and you've already used 20 seconds, and you have to fight 3 more enemies, then no, that takes 50 seconds. That means you've only got 10 seconds to make it across. If you run into another enemy, you're out of luck. You're going to run out of time, and you're going to start hallucinating. If you reach critical low oxygen, you will start hallucinating. And if you do start hallucinating for the next 5 seconds of the... 5 seconds, that's nothing. For the 5 seconds. Oh no, I'm injured. Oh no, I'm injured. Okay, I'm fine now. Bye. If you do start hallucinating for the next 5 minutes, you're in trouble, because for the next 5 minutes of the game, your player is hallucinating jump scare monsters appearing out of nowhere and scaring them while they recover from oxygen deprivation. This way, the player knows, if I get attacked or if I stay out too long, I will hallucinate. If X, then Y. However, what happens when you can tell a scare is coming before it happens? Well, these are called anticipatory jump scares, and are exactly what I talk about in my video on anticipatory jump scares. If you want to watch that, hit that little eye. For now though, let's look at the takeaway. Formulaic jump scares are pretty good. They're good at getting you scared. However, the more you use them, the more the player understands how they work, and the less effective they get in the long run. It's fine to use formulaic jump scares in your game. Like, they have their place. They do work, they're fun. And if you're in a dangerous situation where you can't prevent the trigger from happening, it can add to the immersion of the game. FNAF 2 is a good example of this. If you have to keep your mask on when one of the animatronics is in your room, but you can see the music book in the corner of your eye is running out, you're like, come on, leave. Ah, the music book ran out. Okay, here we go. My point there was formulaic jump scares are good when they're mixed in with other scares. Because you know, once the trigger is flipped, a scare is coming. You can't stop that. And if it doesn't mean game over, cool. You know a scare's coming, you can't prevent it, but you can prepare for it. Even if it's still scary, you're like, okay, cool. Trigger's been activated. There it is. Okay, carrying on. Cool. For now though, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. This is a lot more fun to make than I expected. And I'll see you in the next video.